I greet all of you heartily. And yes, I want to tell you about this project Climate Green. So, Climate Green. Okay, it took it. The topic of Climate Green was climate adaptation of green infrastructure. And the green infrastructure not only of the municipalities. Okay, I can show it like this, it's better. But also of the landscape. And that's why we had Erwin also in the project. So the project partners were from Czech Republic and from Austria. From Czech Republic, we had the associations of national networks of local action groups of South Moravia and South Bohemia. Then the local union of the microregion Hannauer, the Association of Ecological Gardening, and the districts of South Moravia and South Bohemia. And from Austria, we were the lead partners, the Lower Austrian Federal Government, the Department of Environmental and Energy Management, then ecological gardening, and that's what you said, nature in garden. They call themselves ecological gardening internationally. And this is a movement since about 20 years, since over 20 years. And it was set up to reduce the biocides and then the artificial fertilizers and use of peat. And also tries to bring biodiversity into the gardens. You know, when it started, you had this garden with lawn and some conifers inside. And ecological gardening wants to bring ecological structure into the gardens. And therefore, small mammals and, oh, I'm very sorry, this is, what day today? Oh yes, I have a weekly appointment. I'm really sorry, I forgot. Yes, I forgot that this one, yes. About this weekly appointment. Yeah, very sorry. Okay, yeah. So it brings animals like small mammals and birds and insects and so on into the gardens, and it developed from the private gardens to the municipalities and to the public green structures. And then, as we said, Agricultural District Authority of Lower Austria. We work together because the green infrastructure is a network. I think I don't need to stress this too much in this field because you will know what green infrastructure is. So, but I just go over it to make it complete. Green infrastructure is a coherent and planned network of green and open spaces. So it is planned. So we have to plan it together also. And so it fulfills different functions, so-called ecosystem services. I came to know Thomas Wenninger today, who did one of our brochures that I will still introduce to you later. Because of these corona measures, we could not meet till now, but now I see he made some work for us. So ecosystem services include increasing biodiversity, purifying air and water, flood protection, okay, then I have to put this here, rainwater management and adaptation to climate change. So reduce the urban heat islands and regulating the water balance, which of course is good for human health and a better quality of life. So what were our activities? We can group it into 3 groups. One is knowledge preparation. So we produced a lot of studies, information sheets, studies, guidelines, soil investigations, a handbook, an action program. I will still show you more of that one. In Czech Republic, you heard about it this morning already. The main focus was on knowledge implementation. Altogether, they planted over 8,000 trees and shrubs, I think. And what I like very much, they planted it together with schools, families, and so on, so that they get the knowledge of the importance of trees and also take care of it. And then the last group then is knowledge transfer. Like we did a lot of excursions to maybe tree maintenance and to perennial herbs, which especially in Tulln you can see instead of the lawn in the street fields, in the small places, they put perennial herbs now, and that one makes it to be more nice, makes it to be easier to maintain, and also is good for the insects because they find some food there. So, and then we had conferences, seminars, media work, and consultations. I told you I will show you some of the publications. So you have the link here where you can download all the things. Unfortunately, these things are no more produced, so I could not bring them for you, but you can download them. So you can see here is, for instance, about wildflower meadows, how to make them, about unsealed ways and unsealed streets and all these things. Then about rainwater management, about trees. We have a poster and a brochure. These are the agricultural studies, and from plants for Bohemia, plants for the Pannonic regions. And here we see the difficulty of it, like plants to which trees to be planted is not really predictable, because we cannot really predict how the climate is going to change. Then also whether these trees that we plant newly in our regions really like it here and may get other sicknesses or other disturbances. So, but we tried our best to find out what works better now, and through that one we can say that probably that one will work. These things are in German or in Czech language. We didn't translate to English, so. But, yeah. So, the climate change adaptation. What contribution can be made? I mean, the main thing we said, planting. Plants are really good for climate adaptation, and they are also good for climate change, because the cooling effect you can see here. If you have a street without any plant, you reach up to 70 degrees on the roofs or 50 degrees here beside the streets. And then also the noise, the dust, the heat can spread to all sides. And if you plant trees, the picture changes. It has a real cooling effect. If you, for instance, put plants on the roofs and on the houses, and like trees here, if you go under it, it feels like minus 13 degrees. Even if it has less degrees less than 13, if you go there, you feel happy, and you feel it seems to be cool to you, and it's nice. So apart from the fact that we bring life into the streets, it is also has also these effects. And then another important thing is the rainwater management. We experience now that we have strong rainfalls, and then at the other side we have periods of heat and dryness. So it will be very important to learn how to save this rainwater, to have it when it's hot, and to use it when it's hot. Then unsealing is also a topic. Before we sealed every floor, and now we start opening it again. I remember about 20 years ago, it was not allowed to have a parking space with open ground, and now you get support only if you have a parking space with open ground. So things change sometimes very quickly. And then shading is a very important thing with trees, with pergola, or with different things. We have one brochure to it also. It's this one here. Grüne Beschattung, also how to, different ways of bringing shade into gardens and municipalities. Yeah, and soil protection, of course. This is the field you spoke most about these 2 days. Yeah, I want to take out one of the things we did. If you want to change something in your community, we try to make it easy for you, and we made a manual how to change it step by step. I mean, it's one possibility how to do it. And for the other things, yeah, I think my 10 minutes will be over. Okay, I prepared for 10 minutes. Then I will show you the scripts. I brought one from each, just to look at, because I don't have more from it. So, but if you want to look at it now, so here, like here, this is from trees, a very good brochure about what a tree can help you in the climate change. Then this is rainwater management. This is about the shadowing, different systems. So I just show you, maybe I put it there on the table so you can look at it and you can download it. And this is for the meadows. And Mr. Wenninger will know this very well, the ecosystem Dienstleistungen, services of shelter belts. And it is really interesting how many ecosystem services it gives. It's not just that it's green and all the things we heard about the water protection, soil, also keeping water in the soil. It's also about the living creatures inside, and also biodiversity. And then maybe you spoke about it, that farmers can also use fruits from it. Also, I see this one here. Yeah. So, and psychologically, for instance, it is interesting. It is important for us as human beings that we have structures in the landscape. So human being will start thinking in a different way, whether you have a structured field or you just have a field without anything. And for touristical matters, for instance, people may come more often, or people will stay in the municipalities outside the cities if the landscape is nice. But they will run away if it's too empty and cold. Good. Then I thank for the attention, and I'm open for questions.